take this moment to show our support for the men and women of the armed forces and our first responders. We proudly welcome you and your families. And at this time, ask that any past or present members of the United States military, any of our allies from around the world, and all first responders to please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in honoring these men, women, and their families.
In just a few minutes, you'll meet Seaworld's killer whales. First though, let's find out more about these remarkable animals.
Whales that did we actually kill?
Orca's orca, or the killer whale, is the most widely distributed mammal on Earth. They can be found throughout the ocean, all around the world, including in the Arctic, the Atlantic, the Southern, the Indian, and the Pacific Oceans. No other single marine species lives in as many different ocean habitats or is as directly reliant on as many different types of marine life as the killer whale. More than any other marine animal, the Orca's orca is the very embodiment of our shared global ocean. Until about 2 decades ago, scientists didn't know that there were actually several different varieties or ecotypes of killer whales. With effort and observation, however, we discovered that there are actually 10 distinct ecotypes, each differing in size, behavior, diet, lifestyle, and appearance. A striking characteristic of the orca is their black and white skin. This camouflage is called disruptive coloration. In a murky environment, this coloration can make them difficult to detect. Killer whales are countershaded. Their top surface is darker than their surface underneath. From below, looking up, they blend in with the light from above. From above, looking down, they're invisible against the dark depths. Killer whales are warm-blooded and breathe air just like we do. Killer whales are the largest members of the Delphinidae, or dolphin family. As you can see, they have impressive physical characteristics. Orcas have keen eyesight, both above and below the water. The dorsal fin of an adult male can be up to 6 feet in height.
Not sure.
Well, which one?
Oh, the long one.
Then why do I only see one?
The powerful pectoral flippers and tail fluke can propel them through the water at a high rate of speed with great maneuverability. Their top speed is nearly 30 miles per hour. Killer whales use echolocation to hunt and to communicate. Communication is also accomplished through tail slaps, breaching, and vocalizations. You'll experience a variety of natural killer whale behaviors during orca encounter today. We ask our whales to replicate natural behaviors such as breaching, spy hopping, and tail slaps. While awe-inspiring and entertaining for our guests, these behaviors are also essential to maintaining the health and well-being of the killer whales in our camp. Much remains to be understood regarding the Orca's orca. One thing we do know, however, is that across the globe, they face real challenges as the general health of the prey populations and habitats on which killer whales depend suffer due to changes in the environment. In just a few moments, you'll encounter Seaworld's killer whales and learn even more about these fascinating animals. As the most widely distributed mammal on Earth, the killer whale is uniquely positioned to represent the beauty, power, and fragility of the ocean.
On behalf of the entire killer whale training team, I would like to welcome you to Orca Stadium.
Being a part of Seaworld's mission is more than just a job. We are proud of what we do, and it is a privilege for us to care for, build relationships with, teach, and learn from these amazing animals. Now, more than ever, we are honored to share our relationships with the whales and what we have learned with all of you. And now, SeaWorld proudly presents Orca Encounter!
Has one interconnected ocean. A vast blue expanse critical to life on Earth. And there's no better animal to represent the ocean's beauty than the killer whale.
They live in every corner of the ocean, from the Arctic to the Atlantic, the Southern to the Indian, to the Pacific and beyond.
The killer whale story is the ocean story, and it's one we all share.
We are one world, united by our ocean.
complex learning abilities. These behaviors keep our whales active and engaged. SeaWorld's killer whales have inspired generations all over the world, and we're excited to share their stories with all of you today.
Killer whales are the ocean's top predator. They use cooperation and communication, not just size and strength, to take their place at the top of the ocean's food web. At the bottom are small animals, like krill. At the top, the apex predator, the killer whale. Killer whales are as big as a bus, faster than an Olympic swimmer, high-flying and powerful.
We're going to see all that and more. These behaviors contribute to an environment full of enrichment.
We spend days, weeks, months, years building relationships with our whales. This creates trust, and that allows us to do some amazing things. For example, when you visit a doctor, you present your arm to draw blood, or step on the scale to see how much you weigh. It's much the same with our whales.
Today, you'll see the whales moving together in unison. These synchronized behaviors strengthen social bonds and enable them to problem solve as a group. Working together as a team is what makes them the ocean's top predator. Scientifically, they're known as Orcinus orca, but more commonly, they're referred to as killer whales. Here at SeaWorld, we like to call them Katina, Nalani, Valia, Trua, and Makayo, our killer whale family. Makayo is the youngest at just 12 years old, and the oldest is his mother, Katina, who this year will be celebrating her 47th birthday. Katina is also the matriarch or leader of the pod. Now, SeaWorld animal training techniques create a language between us and the whales. It's a language of learning through positive reinforcement, encouragement, commitment, and care. Through these techniques and our relationships, the whales learn to trust us. They even learn to take an active role in their very own health and well-being. That behavior right there is what True was demonstrating as one of the very first husbandry or healthcare behaviors we trained, in which we would take a voluntary blood sample. So our veterinarians take that voluntary blood sample at least once a month, and our whales are trained to present their tail flukes and remain calm throughout the entire procedure. Now, a lot of times you'll see us as trainers rubbing down or massaging the whales, whether it's on their backs, their pectoral flippers, or even on those tail flukes. Our whales have very sensitive skin, and this is just one way that we can reward them for remaining calm during procedures like this, and it's also a really cool way for us to strengthen our relationships with them. Very nice. So Makayo is actually demonstrating right now another important husbandry behavior we do, in which we weigh our whales. But you'll notice that the portion of his body from his dorsal fin all the way to his tail flukes is still in the water. This is the peduncle, and it's the powerhouse of the killer whale. Very muscular and very heavy. So with this still in the water, we wouldn't be getting an accurate weight. So to solve that problem, we simply ask them to lift their tails up and out of the water. Awesome job, Makayo. Just like that, training this posture enables us to ensure accuracy. So we know that our younger whales are growing properly and our older whales are maintaining a healthy weight.
And the care isn't just physical. Mental stimulation and play are vital, and we surprise and engage with our whales at every opportunity. Play is how killer whales teach their young to hunt, and for the adults, play is important too. It seems that they just enjoy having fun. Making time for play is an important part of life for killer whales, and for us.
Hey everyone, I'm over on the left side of the stadium now, down by the glass. Did you know that killer whales love to play? In fact, they actually learn a lot by playing and through things called mimicry and observational learning. From a very young age, killer whales learn valuable life skills by playing games like follow the leader with their mothers and other whales. We're gonna put that to the test today with my new friend Julieta, Makayo, and everybody on this side of the stage. You guys ready to have some fun? All right, if you would like to participate, just stand up for me. We are going to be playing a game of killer whale follow the leader. All of you and Julieta are gonna be the leaders, and we're gonna see if Makayo wants to follow, all right? So on the count of 3, we're gonna spin around in a circle twice and then stop. You guys ready? All right, 1, 2, 3, go ahead and spin around, spin around. everyone. Now you may have noticed that Makayo is paying very close attention to you. Killer whales are very curious animals and can often be seen spy hopping or jumping completely out of the water to get a better look around. Makayo's going to demonstrate that with a big bow at stage. All right, right side of the stadium, it is your turn. We have an even bigger behavior plan called a breach. Now I'm joined by my new friend Jeff down here. Jeff, did you learn the signal for a breach from Nick? Yeah? Awesome. All right, everyone, take your fingers over your left shoulders. Awesome. Nicely done, Jeff. All right. Now, a very important part about being a killer whale trainer is keep your eye on the whale. So go ahead and watch Trua. He's going to go all the way down. Killer whales will breach for a number of reasons, whether it's to scratch an itch, get a better look around, locate some prey, or simply just to show off. Come on, wave to your family. Hello. Thank you so much for being such a great sport. Welcome to the Soak Zone. All right, everybody, let's give it up for Jeff, Julieta, all of you, and our amazing whales. SeaWorld's research and observation about the killer whales in our care has shed light on many mysteries about these amazing animals. For example, we now know that the gestation period of a pregnant killer whale is 17 months. That's information that's impossible to obtain in the wild. However, some information can only be gained through field observation and research. That's why SeaWorld partners with organizations such as the Norwegian Orca Survey and NOAA to further our knowledge. We've learned that killer whales are powerful animals. Perhaps the best expression of that power can be seen when they hunt.
Killer whales stand apart. They have no natural predators, and just about any other ocean animal could be their dinner. Depending on where they live and their chosen prey, they've developed some epic hunting techniques. Off the coast of South America, killer whales will beach themselves, riding in on waves just long enough to catch prey. They'll also create waves that knock animals like penguins or seals from ice cliffs. Most importantly, they cooperate, communicate, and coordinate as a team. Here's footage of killer whales corralling a school of herring. A whale dips in and feeds, while the other whales keep the fish together with spikes of their tail fins.
So killer whales create waves when they hunt, and they use those powerful tail flips to stun their prey. We're about to demonstrate that. For our whales, it's a high-energy activity session. But for all of you, it means that it's time to get wet!
so far? Perfect. My name is Joe. I'm out here right now because if you haven't noticed, things aren't going exactly according to plan. This is something that happens from time to time, not all the time, and it's okay. We do have live animals here. They have minds of their own, and so right now what seems to be happening is whatever is going on within their environment is a little bit more interesting than what we have going on ourselves. So what we need to do is actually take a few moments, just to kind of take a step back, let them kind of figure out what is going on within their social dynamic, and then we'll come back in just a little bit and see if they want to continue on with the next thing that we're going to do. For this instance, it would be the next part of Orca encounter. But it's a really good opportunity for me to kind of come out here, just explain what it is to work with these amazing animals every single day. It's a very unique opportunity for you guys to see what it's like to be in the life of a day of an animal trainer here at SeaWorld. Now, with these killer whales in particular, they're very, very social animals, much more social than many of the other animals that we have here at the park. In that social dynamic, I know you got a little bit of background about them, that we have the 2 male killer whales as well as the 3 female killer whales. Now, the whales you met early on in the presentation, those are our boys, those are our males. They're very, very large compared to these females that were out here swimming around at this particular point. But when they're fully grown, they can be much bigger than they are already. They can be anywhere between 10 to 12,000 pounds. These girls that are swimming around right now are almost full grown. One is fully grown, and they weigh only between 5 and 6,000 pounds. So they're about half the size of the male killer whales. But being half the size doesn't mean anything in the sense of their social dynamic. In the social hierarchy of killer whales, females are actually the ones who are dominant. They're the ones who are in charge. So Katina, our dominant killer whale, she's our oldest whale that we have here. She'll be turning 47 years old this year. She was out here just a moment ago. Right now, she's actually in one of our back pools. She is the matriarch. She's the dominant killer whale. The other 2 females in here, one is Milani, who's 16 years old, and Malia is the one swimming around right here, right now. She'll be turning 16 years old next month. Now, in addition to those, the social dynamic, there's a lot of other factors that play in what we do throughout our day. Now, when we try to interact with the whales, we're always doing it in a positive manner. We use a method of training here at SeaWorld that's called outward conditioning, or we like just to say positive reinforcement. Now, all positive reinforcement means is a real fancy way of us saying that we draw a lot of attention and we're constantly motivating the animals to do something that they did and we want them to do again. So if they do a behavior such as one of the jumps you might have seen earlier, or a swim, or like the fluke present behavior you saw out there where we get the blood sample from, when they do those behaviors correctly or that we want them to do it again, we draw a lot of attention to it. So we can give them any kind of reward that we can think of that would be reinforcing to the animals. That can be food, and food is an obvious example. But as a trainer, our job is to find those other things that really the animals find extremely reinforcing as well. Those are things like back rubs, hose plays, toys. The sky really is the limit to the things that we're able to come up with to reinforce and reward the animals. And each animal is going to be a little bit different, so the only way you get to find out what is reinforcing, what is rewarding for those animals, is to spend quality one-on-one time with them. And we can just kind of determine those different things, the little nuances about each individual animal and the different types of interactions that we have with them. I mentioned the one of being able to spend the quality one-on-one time. That's actually probably one of the interactions that most trainers, I would say, enjoy the most. We call that a relationship building session. And it's just spending that time figuring out who the animal is and also letting them kind of get to know you as well. Because we as trainers, we're a little bit different as well because we're all individuals. So spending that time together, getting to know each other really is a great way to build that relationship and that bond that really allows us to do everything that we do here at SeaWorld. In addition to those relationship building sessions, we can do the husbandry sessions. And we talked quite a bit about that early on in the Orca encounter. We talked about the weights or getting the voluntary blood samples. These are the most fundamental, the most basic behaviors that we are going to train and ask of the whales because it's for their health and well-being. These particular whales, because they are so large, we need them to voluntarily participate in their own health care. If they wouldn't participate in their own health care, there's a lot of diagnostics we wouldn't be able to get just because they are so large. So we wouldn't be able to get the full body ultrasounds, we wouldn't be able to get fecal samples, urine samples, any of those kind of diagnostics for our vet staff to kind of see what's going on internally. So those are the kind of things that we really put a lot of energy and attention to early on in the training process. In addition to that, we can also do exercise sessions. These are actually really fun sessions where we can kind of act like a personal trainer per se. So we can go out there and have the animals do lots of different high energy type behaviors. So it could be like lots of jumps, really high jump, really fast swims. Things like this that can really exercise the whales. Because we like to think of these animals, not just the whales, but all the animals here at SeaWorld, it's kind of like our top physical athletes. So kind of like the same athletes you might watch on television, like your football players, basketball players, soccer players. They have to maintain a very high level of physical fitness. Well, it's the exact same for these whales as well. So we can maintain that physical fitness through those exercise type sessions. But we can't do that all the time. We have to balance it out with all the different types of interactions that we have. The relationships, the husbandry, those exercises, these organic kind of presentations, as well as play times. All right, so Laura just told me Adam right here is going to ask Malia to kind of come over. We're going to go into the next segment, hopefully, of Orca Encounter Presentation, our finale. So our folks up in the booth, if we can be ready to play with that music, we're going to go on. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your patience and understanding, and enjoy the rest of Orca Encounter.
Pretty obvious why they're the top predator in the ocean. That means killer whales are invincible, right?
Killer whales depend on a plentiful food source and a clean environment. They're completely dominant, yet completely dependent.
When it comes down to it, killer whales are not the most powerful animal in the ocean.
We hold the future of killer whales and the oceans in our hands.
Killer whales continue to surprise and amaze. They're the perfect ambassadors of the ocean, limitless, connected, powerful, but still vulnerable. The challenges that we can seem insurmountable.
Don't give up. Be inspired.
We can make a difference. The ocean needs our help, and that seems overwhelming, but together we can make it happen.
There's so much to learn.
So much to protect. So much to explore. The killer whale story is still being written, and there are simple things we all can do to make a difference. All it takes is one choice.
One positive act.
One ripple that can grow and change the world.
Together, we've got this.
Every different creature, beautiful deep is deep, so much mystery.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed Orca Encounter. Have a great rest of your day here at Seaworld. Bye, everyone.
Follow SeaWorld on Facebook and Instagram to keep track of our latest rescues. Find out more about the animals in our care.